Van Helsing is a 2004 action horror film written and directed by Stephen Sommers. It stars Hugh Jackman as Dutch monster hunter Van Helsing and Kate Beckinsale as Anna Valerius. The eponymous character was inspired by the Dutch vampire hunter Abraham Van Helsing from Irish author Bram Stoker's novel Dracula. Distributed by Universal Pictures, the film includes a number of monsters such as Count Dracula and other vampires, Frankenstein's monster, Duergar, Mr. Hyde, and werewolves in a way similar to the multi-monster movies that Universal produced in the 1940s, such as Frankenstein Meets the Wolf Man, House of Frankenstein, and House of Dracula. The film received generally negative reviews, but grossed $300 million worldwide against a budget of $160 to $170 million. In 1887 Transylvania, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, aided by his assistant Igor and Count Dracula, creates a monster. Dracula kills Frankenstein when he refuses to go along with the vampire's designs for the creature, as Igor, revealed to be under Dracula's pay, watches impassively. At the Order's Vatican City headquarters, Van Helsing is tasked with traveling to Transylvania, destroying Dracula, and protecting Anna and Velkan Valerius, the last of an ancient Romanian family. Their ancestor vowed that his descendants would kill Dracula or spend eternity in purgatory. In Transylvania, Anna and Velkan attempt to kill a werewolf controlled by Dracula, but it falls with Velkan into a deep river gorge, managing to bite him in the process. Van Helsing and Karl, a friar and weapons inventor, arrive at a village and join Anna's fight with Dracula's brides, Verona, Marischka, and Ailira, slaying Marischka in the process. That night, Velkan visits Anna to warn her of Dracula's plans, but transforms into a werewolf and escapes. Van Helsing and Anna pursue Velkan to Frankenstein's castle. They stumble upon Dracula's plan to duplicate Frankenstein's experiments to give life to thousands of his undead children, using Velkan as a conduit. In Anna's castle, Karl discovers a hidden painting of two rival knights. It comes to life, revealing the knights as a vampire and a werewolf in battle. While attempting to bring the monster to Rome, Van Helsing and his crew are ambushed by the brides and Velkan, near Budapest. Verona and Velkan are killed, but Van Helsing is bitten. They find a monster, who reveals that Dracula possesses a cure for lycanthropy because only a werewolf can kill him. Dracula and Van Helsing turn into their bestial forms and battle. Whilst both briefly return to their human forms, Dracula reveals that it was Van Helsing who killed him and offers to restore his memory. Van Helsing refuses and kills Dracula after reverting back to his werewolf form, triggering his brood's deaths. Anna arrives and injects the cure into Van Helsing, but is killed by him in the process. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a 2003 steampunk dieselpunk superhero film loosely based on the first volume of the comic book series of the same name by Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill. Distributed by 20th Century Fox, it was released on the 11th of July, 2003 in the United States, and the 17th of October in the United Kingdom. It was directed by Stephen Norrington and starred Sean Connery, Naziruddin Shah, Peter Wilson, Tony Curran, Stuart Townsend, Shane West, Jason Fleming, and Richard Roxburgh. It was Connery's final role in a theatrically released live-action film before his retirement in 2006 and death in 2020. As with the comic book source material, the film features prominent pastiche and crossover themes set in the late 19th century. It features an assortment of fictional literary characters appropriate to the period who act as Victorian-era superheroes. It received generally unfavorable reviews but was financially successful, grossing over $179 million worldwide in theaters, and earning rental revenue of $48.6 million and DVD sales, as of 2003, of $36.4 million against its $78 million budget. In 1899, a terrorist group led by the Phantom breaks into the Bank of England to steal Leonardo da Vinci's blueprints of Venice's foundations. They then kidnap several German scientists while blowing up a Zeppelin factory. The British Empire sends Sanderson Reed to Kenya colony to recruit adventurer and hunter Alan Quatermain, who had retired following the death of his son. Quatermain at first refuses until a group of assassins is sent to kill him, resulting in the death of his longtime friend, Nigel. In London, Quatermain meets M, who explains that the Phantom plans to start a world war by bombing a secret meeting of world leaders in Venice. To prevent this, M is forming the latest generation of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, consisting of Quatermain, Captain Nemo, vampire chemist Mina Harker, and invisible thief Rodney Skinner. The League travels to the London Docklands to recruit Dorian Gray, Mina's former lover who is immortal due to a missing cursed portrait. The Phantom and his assassins attack, but the League, aided by US Secret Service agent Tom Sawyer, fends them off. Gray and Sawyer join the League. They then capture Edward Hyde in Paris, who transforms back into his alter ego, Dr. Henry Jekyll, and joins the League after being offered amnesty. The League travels to Venice in Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus, but they soon deduce there may be a mole on board when a camera's flash powder residue is found in the wheelhouse, and one of Jekyll's transformation formulas disappears. Suspicion falls on the missing Skinner. The League reaches northern Mongolia, where it reunites with Skinner and plots to destroy MS Factory with explosives. Nemo and Hyde rescue the scientists and their families while fighting Dante, who overdoses on the Hyde formula. Skinner sets the explosive charges, and Mina battles and eventually kills Dorian by exposing him to his portrait. Quatermain and Sawyer confront M and identify him as Professor James Moriarty, longtime archenemy of genius detective Sherlock Holmes who had changed identities following his alleged death at the Reichenbach Falls. Sawyer is taken hostage by an invisible Reed. Quatermain shoots the latter, only to be fatally stabbed by Moriarty. Moriarty flees, but Sawyer shoots and kills him, and his samples sink into the icy water. Quatermain then dies. What is your choice? Put your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.